My next guest says you can add dimension, texture, and some really beautiful interest to your home this autumn with some unexpected layers. From your window treatments to your art, learn how to bring a cozy feel into any space with just a few special, we'll call them stacking techniques. Our favorite designer, Lauren Oviatt, is joining me to fill us in on this home decorating secret. So we're layering.
We are layering. If we haven't talked about it before, I'm really excited to talk about it today because of the 7 things that I pulled together. I'm like, we could just keep going. Like, tell me when to stop because we can keep talking about it. And this is the perfect time of year to kind of think about what your house and what your spaces could use.
And it feels like any time of year, this would be kind of that X factor as you look at a room that's been professionally designed or just has that feel and your eye almost can't break it down. Are layers part of that illusion?
Totally. I mean, they are just tools that we use in order to complete a room. So when people ask me like, well, what is your style? I say, well, I don't know if I have a style. I like to define what my client's style is, but what I specialize in, I think what a lot of people have been in the industry a long time, they specialize in completion. And that means layers. So sometimes it's pulling layers away. And sometimes it's bringing in those layers that are really impactful that can transform your space.
Let's start with bedding. You say this is a place you can have some impact if you just add on.
Yeah, so it can be everything from like extra pillows, like pieces on the bed. It can also be the texture of what you're bringing into the bedroom. So knits and chunky cottons and linens and silks and all of these things that really just define the fabric content. But beyond that, of course, it's like, well, I've had standard shams for a long time. I'm gonna try a Euro that's behind it. That's the taller pillow. So stacking your pillows on the back of the bed. Oftentimes I'll make a bed with a coverlet and then I fold the duvet at the bottom. And that can be another way of sort of creating depth and layers on the bed. So I think that's a really easy kind of gateway place because you can always shop and find things that you're looking for when it comes to bedding.
You like wallpaper, you like mural work, and that's something people might not count as a layer, but it's an extra on a wall.
It is. When you think about completion of a space, if something's still missing, it could be wallpaper. So oftentimes we'll say, oh, start in the powder room or start in your mudroom. But I say have so much fun with this. Murals are having a huge moment in decor right now. Everything from your high-end hand-painted silk wallpaper to peel and stick, you know, Target finds. It's really simple to find a wallpaper that works for you. And I say have fun with it because mural work and even like fine detailed wallpaper can have such a statement when it comes to adding a layer of texture and pattern to your wall.
How do we layer artwork?
Artwork, okay. Now, I think for a long time there was the trend of like mantle layering, right? So we had a mirror and then we had a landscape and then we had something. So you can layer that way. But I propose that we think about layering in a different way. So instead of thinking of one portrait over your sofa, layer when it comes to the items that you're hanging, like a collage wall or a gallery wall. So a portrait next to a landscape, next to a plate that you found when you were, you know, vintage shopping. So layering can be with artwork in both the way that you install it, but also the type that you're hanging on the wall.
That makes sense. That's a good challenge. I was surprised to see greenery on your list.
You know I love greenery.
You do, but the idea of layering greenery, I really wouldn't have thought from the average eye.
Well, when you think about the different things that come into a room, the levels are important. So when we think about layering, this can be with greenery everything from a vase full of branches that sits on your console table to a really low, full arrangement on your coffee table.
High, low at every vantage point.
Yes, and greenery is so easy because you can shop different seasons. You can have fall branches in the fall. You can have winter berries or sprigs in the winter. And it's just such a natural, non-forced way to bring decor into your house. Greenery does something that nothing else can do.
We've seen people start to layer their rugs. What's the key to doing that successfully?
Well, I think the pattern is really important. So if you start with a solid or a jute rug down low, then you put your oriental or your bordered or your patterned rug on top. And we see this everywhere from your entry, from your doormat, which is actually really great because you have the size that's important and the impact, and then you have something functional on top that can really get the dirt off of your shoes, to family rooms. So it's really great. And not just layering when it comes to putting one rug on top of the other, but deciding in your head, this room needs something more. I'm going to add a layer of texture over my wood or tile floor.
20 seconds left. Window treatments made your list, but I was also surprised to see wood tones. That working in different wood tones can act as a visual layer.
Yes, wood tones are just, it's one of those things where you're like, I don't need another thing because I'm full, but what can I add that's just visual? And this is a visual layer. When you think about wood, it's wood grain and that warmth that comes, and that is a layer.
This has been insightful. The beautiful pictures that you've curated punch home these awesome design principles. Thank you for making our houses more layered and beautiful. Where can we get design advice from you?
Well, I'm sharing the day-to-day on my Instagram at Lauren Oviatt, and then I have a website at laurenoviatt.com.
So many beautiful projects
Thank you.
going on right now. You'll love to peek in and see her work, so we'll link you over from our website.